May 17th, 1926. I guess he went by the name Darry. He was 84 years old, and he was born in Pilton, Oregon, to Chester and Catherine McIntyre. He married Marietta Marlowe in Washington State, actually Chester Gemmell. Catherine McIntyre would be the maiden name. He married Marietta in 1947. He was descended from homesteaders in the Lexington area and maintained a lifelong affiliation with northeastern Oregon. He left North Salem High School in 1943 to enlist in the United States Marine Corps and participated in the invasions of Peru and Okinawa. By the way, I just finished reading a book of Pacific. Also, there was a miniseries in HBO which followed the 1st Marine Division. And I just recommend that to you highly to see a little bit of what Darry went through. Following the war, he attended Oregon State University. He worked for the state of Oregon and entered into a 30-year career as a construction contractor and real estate developer, both in Salem and Pendleton. He was substantially involved in the development of the Indian Hills Interchange for the 1180 Corporation. Survivors include daughter Tia Gay Kay of Sacramento and granddaughter Terry of Poulsbo, Washington. He was preceded in death by his wife Marietta and sons Douglas and David. Gemmell Reese will have time to share a few more words.
Hope you have a chance to come up and take a look at these photos of Darry. At the time he served in the Marines in World War II, and more recently visit that Mary Lynn and I had down to Cathedral City here about a year ago. Darry moved from Eastern Oregon in the 1930s, but I believe never really left Eastern Oregon, regardless of the many years in Salem, his time in the Marines, and his defining years in Southern California. He maintained that bond. I think that was an indication of his strong and abiding interest in his family and its history, and I'm sure Tia Taryn can attest to the stories of being in a strange city and looking in the phone book to see if there were any Gemmells. Didn't find too many. Or Mary Lynn, Carrie, and I going with him to Scotland, looking up Gemmells, or going to the Isle of Darry to visit the McIntyres. He devoted many trips to tracing his family's footsteps from Scotland to Canada to Oregon. We've all appreciated his genealogical work. This wasn't just an academic pursuit or an esoteric hobby. He delighted in the conversations he would have with townspeople in Red Oak, Iowa, McIntyre Corners, Ontario, Canada, or corresponding with the McIntyre clan in Scotland. In recent years, the internet added to that ability, and he renewed acquaintance with McIntyre cousins in Los Angeles and Gemmell cousins in Wasco County. Certainly, his commitment to family was most evident in his devotion to his siblings and family, and as they passed on, it fell on his shoulders to see that they were properly memorialized. Even with the tyranny of distance, being in Southern California, he would make arrangements every Memorial Day for Mary Lynn and I to decorate graves from Helix to Hefner to Willamette National to Salem. Salem was especially important because the grave sites of his parents, his beautiful wife Marita, and sons Doug and David. Darry had another family, his military family. He left high school at 17 and joined the Marines, 1943 to 46. Boot camp, troop ships, the invasions of Peleliu and Okinawa, and the occupation of northern China. 3 intense years, a bond that lasted a lifetime. He and Marita had the opportunity, and I believe in the early 90s, to go back and visit all of these locations. He was fond of corresponding with his Marine buddies to include the night prior to his passing. Darry enjoyed life, loved his family and his friends. I think he saw his family's trek from Scotland to Eastern Oregon as a great story, a determined struggle to leave the old world behind and find a better place in America. He saw his friends from Joint Assault Signal Company in the 1st Marine Division as those who had shared the great adventure of his life, the campaign to the Central Pacific. He enjoyed his golfing friends from Eastern Oregon immensely. He was blessed with many wonderful years with Marita, Doug, and David, and was devoted to the well-being of Tia and Taryn. One thought to leave a smile on his face. Darry joked that since the Isle of Darry is in the middle of the Irish Sea, he was always afraid that in his genealogical research it would reveal that we were really Irish. So Darry, don't worry. Even if it were true, we'll always remember you as a devoted Scotchman.
take the time out. And, I like to do something that we like to do in the military. That's using an acronym. As you're familiar with the military usage, we love acronyms. I just said we'll just general facts. Major General Rees shared with you some specifics that all of a sudden he became more alive as he shared smaller details. Individuality, Darry was not a clone. He was as unique as a snowflake. He was a product of America's greatest generation, which not only meant he worked hard, but he probably kept the more personal things close to his chest. God made only one Darry, and a couple here today, his genes and life live on in you. Today we celebrate the specific things that made Darry, Darry. The D stands for duty. Sounds like a pretty lame thing to do at a memorial service. But duty doesn't sound like a good reason to have a service. But duty is one of the core values in the Army. Duty really is a reflection of priorities. All of us here today could be doing something else than being here, could we not? Yet because family and friends are a priority to us, we stop and pause because we know it's right. Darry was a Marine. Marines have three core values: honor, courage, and commitment. And duty has to do with commitment. So out of duty, we in the military pause to show our priority is people. And the last thing is expectation. That's why we pause. The military is an eclectic group of faiths, a majority of which have a sense of life after death. It's important for us to give attention to this reality. And so service leaves people a chance to practice their faith and to look to God or some other reality to make purpose and meaning to life. As a Christian chaplain, I try to help articulate that faith in God and life. Secondly, expectation is life must go on for all of us. And after the death of a comrade, a battle buddy, it's important for all those of us who live to gain strength to carry on and carry out the rest of our days. It's important for us to stop and to reflect about how we're doing. How is everybody living life right now? And services help us do that. To live with a new sense of expectation in our own lives, and to maybe want to say, how could I be a better human being because I've been here today? So today, I thank you for your pride, your patriotism, respect, individuality, duty, and a sense of expectation that there's so much more to life than what we have. We will continue the rest of our service at another location, and I think at this time we're simply going to turn it back over to Willamette National, and then we will follow and continue the service, and we'll have a conclusion and committal up there.
Well, friends, what we're going to do now is we'll return to our automobiles, and I will guide you up to the place where the memorial marker is going to be.
Again, I encourage you to just kind of come around by the table here to take a look at these two.
to work.
I have
Is when we get to the house, it's some jackets coming off.